Hey guys, this is AC Locke here again, and this is Building a Lifestyle Business presented by SoftWash Systems. And this week I have Isaac with me, and Isaac, you're with Skyline, right?
Yep.
And part of our licensed affiliates. Kind of give us your location, where you're servicing your area, and the, as I kind of say, the non-soft washy biographical information, so people know who you are, what you like to do, and all that kind of stuff. But what's the city that you guys are located in?
So we're in Madison, Wisconsin here, and we really service the greater Madison area is what we say. So, we've been actually in Madison for 45 years now, and my parents started the company. So I was really born into
it. And so people may not realize Madison is the capital of Wisconsin.
Yep, it is.
So that's the capital. It's not a huge city, but it is a decently sized city. What's the population there in Madison?
I think, Madison's like 280,000. I think the greater Madison area is around 800,000.
Okay, so the greater Madison area is about 800,000.
Yep.
That's about the size Orlando was when I started Madtown Systems. And
wow.
now Orlando's 2.9 million people.
Jeez. Crazy. We are probably heading that direction. There's a lot of growth right now.
It's a lot of growth, yes. And it's just kind of crazy. And so tell me a little bit about you. You already mentioned it's a family business, been around a long time. You're born into the business. But tell us about you, what you like to do, how you got into this mess. But, family. You're married, right?
No.
Not yet. Are you telling me that you're still on the market?
I'm still on the market.
Guy?
Yeah.
I'm going to sound like a grandma now. Are you telling me you're as cute as you are, but you're still on the market?
It's public now. Yeah, I'm still on the market.
So ladies out there, you got a rich multi-million-dollar cleaning guru up there in Wisconsin that needs a good woman, right?
Right, 100%.
100%.
Still on the hunt. Yeah, so I have a very single life, single, no kids. So I've been doing this full time for around, I think, 12 years now. I've technically been employed for like 17. I think I started when I was 12 doing work.
Because child labor is legal when you're a family member, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We set the official start date at 12, but So yeah, but out of high school, started doing this full time while I was doing school part time in the evenings, and the rest is history. So I studied software engineering and didn't finish that. So, but I learned a lot on that journey, and I've been doing this full time since high school. So I love small business in general, love software, and it's a lot of fun. Every day is a new adventure.
Every day is a new adventure for sure. And so what are the things you like to do off the clock? What's the off the clock kind of stuff?
The off the clock recently, I mean, a few years back, it was a lot of weightlifting. So I competed in Olympic lifting. So I did a lot of those competitions. Early on, I was a baseball player. One of our other businesses is Madtown Sluggers. It's an indoor batting cage. So we run that for around 10 years, and it actually shares the office with Skyline here. So we operate that and have coaches come in and do training. And then our third business, as long as I'm on that route, is raising English bulldogs. So we breed English bulldogs. And we've got our hands into a few different things. But yeah, I loved weightlifting. And then more recently, it was a lot of volleyball and disc golf. So my brothers are really into disc golf right now. So I got sucked into it. So
well, that's cool. Yeah. So English bulldogs, really? Wow.
Yeah. So we have 3 right now, and we've bred them a few times and sold the puppies. And it's a labor of love, not of profit. So
you're familiar with an English Mastiff?
I think so. Yeah. Mastiffs. Yeah.
They're just a really, really, really big bulldog with long legs. They're like head, body, eating machines. Yeah. They're very intimidating large dogs. When I was actually attacked by one once. Back when I worked for my dad, I was delivering, I think it was a refrigerator to a customer's house, and one bust loose from the owner's door and ran out and just tackled me. And didn't maul me or anything, but the owner literally came out with a big stick and literally like baseball swing hit it off of me. And I was just like, this is traumatic, but nonetheless, I love dogs. When I was out in England a few years back ago, we were at a beautiful pub that we love there called the Tiger Inn, and walked in the restaurant. And there was somebody sitting having dinner with a bull mastiff, big English mastiff, sitting there next to him at the dinner table. And it was head above the dinner table. You could just do this and grab a steak, and beautiful, beautiful dogs. I love dogs. I love all kinds of animals, but that's cool. Breeding bulldogs. At least they're not Frenchies. At least they're,
Yeah, they got a little size. The males are about this tall, but they're 70 pounds. So they're dense. So
they're dense. They're very dense.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. And so, you already mentioned that this is a family business going back how many years?
42.
42 years. And that's kind of incredible. So, did your mom start the business, dad start the business, grandparents start the business? Who started the business?
So my dad, Steve LaRonge, started the business, and then my mom showed up shortly after and was involved a lot. But yeah, he just started it really as a side gig to make a little extra money when he came back to Madison. He grew up here, but then was gone for a little while, came back, and just to kind of pay the bills on the side, started doing some work at a local fitness club. And then, it kind of grew step by step from there, but there was no grand initial vision. It was just, clean some carpets, make a little extra money. And then before you know it, it became something substantial. So
is that who you got the weightlifting thing from? Was from your dad? He worked at a fitness club or?
To a certain extent, yeah, he did a lot too. It really came out of, I was training at a CrossFit gym for baseball. So I was really going hard in baseball. I'd play 100 games a year. And so
that was your dream, right?
Yeah, that was the initial dream. And then out of that training, it was like, hey, when that kind of died away, then it was like, I can compete in this and I'm decent at this. So kind of took off with that, but that's how it got started.
Well, that's cool.
Huh?
Yeah. Wow. So family business. I'm third generation service business entrepreneur. And, I started the soft washing thing. My dad didn't, but my dad later joined me in the business. He was mostly in the appliance and air conditioning and stuff like that, business, bathroom remodeling and all. And so he came into the business. I know family business can be challenging, and especially fathers and sons working together. How's that gone?
Yeah, it goes well. I mean, my dad and I work together well. It started a lot when he set out to build his own house when I was in my teens. So growing up, I was homeschooled. I didn't mention that, but I homeschooled. And when I was 16, 17, we built our own house, and he general contracted it, I should say. So I was there every single day, working, doing little projects, and we worked together a lot. And, we learned to work together well. And I think that was helpful. And then going into the business, I think we've had a really good relationship. I mean, we have our arguments, and people in the office know, when my door's closed, they might hear yelling. Things might be.
You just might hear yelling.
Yeah. There's a story. One of the ladies who started here, was like one, we were having a meeting and she was sitting out there looking nervous, and somebody else in the office was like, it's okay. They'll be walking out of that office 10 minutes later, laughing, getting coffee. Sure enough, 10 minutes later, we were like, hey, having a great time. But everybody in the office was like, it's okay. This is just the normal process. So
the normal process. This is how we get things done, right?
How we get things done. So no, but he's a great mentor, and he gave me a lot of opportunity and responsibility early on that I don't know if I would have given myself, but I appreciate it. And it gave me a lot of chances to learn, and, I had some wins, some losses, and, it's been a fun journey. So I appreciate that.
It's tough for, dads and sons. AJ works in the business now with us, and he's over at Disruptor Manufacturing. He was at SoftWash Systems for a while, and you know him well. And And so I deliberately moved him from SoftWash Systems over to Disruptor, and he was not happy with it at first because honestly, he was doing really well at SoftWash Systems and had a clientele and a book of business, and he was making a good regular paycheck, and he took a pay cut to go over there. And it's like, you can't say no to your dad. Oh, by the way, I'm going to move you over here, and you're going to take a pay cut because we're going to build this business now. And but it's tough because the expectations are high, and you're living in your dad's shadow and everything. But it's honestly, when you're a dad and you got a son in the business, you're like, I need you. Yeah. I can rely on you. You're my flesh and blood, and I know you've got the genetic material. I know it's in there somewhere, and I just really know what your potential is. So I'm going to move you over here. I'm going to move you over there. I'm going to give you responsibility. I can see it in you, even though you can't see it yourself, and that can be a little stressful sometimes.
Yeah, and he's given me a lot of opportunity, and I should mention too that it really is a family business because my 3 younger siblings all work in the business too. So
wow.
My sister Mariah does sales. She's 26, and then Ben's still in college. She's 23, but he's doing a lot of the software stuff.
He'll finish one day, I'm sure.
Finish one day, yeah. And my 17-year-old brother is just helping with things around the office, but yeah, we all work together well, and we have our ups and downs, but it's going well too. And there was a unique opportunity early on where our GM, when I was like 17, left. And that's where I was able to step into a lot of new roles pretty quickly. And like you said, it was like my dad was like, hey, I need someone to help because we have a big hole to fill. Right. And I was able to step in and do a lot more than I was probably initially ready for, but we figured it out.
Well, it's really cool that there's so many of your siblings and your family members involved in the business because the name of this show is Building a Lifestyle Business. And literally you're building a business that's supporting the lifestyle of a lot of people in your family, a lot of your siblings. And so it's really cool to be able to say that this business is creating jobs, not only for team members or employees out there that aren't in the family, but also too for the family too. And some people might call that nepotism. But it's like, so what? Get over it. It's a family business. The family's going to get some jobs, and if they're capable, let's not keep somebody in the position if they're not honoring the position. But if the family can step up and do it, why not bless the family? And I think it's wonderful. I had no idea you had so many of your siblings involved in the business. That's just really cool and admirable with your dad and your mom, because that's a lot of vision for that and a lot of responsibility for sure.
Yeah. 100%. But, it's a great opportunity. It's fun being all able to work together, and it's good. So
what originally got your family into the cleaning biz?
So, like I kind of mentioned, my dad came back to Madison for school. I think he was looking to get into vet school and started working at a fitness club. He was like training aerobics or something. And the guy asked him, hey, can you clean the gym in the evenings? And he said, sure.
Sure.
And at the same time, he started working for another janitorial company. Mm-hmm. And he, without much training, they put him over 50 buildings, big building. It was a really big janitorial company. And, he worked there for a few months and saw a lot of crazy things. And he's like, wow, I think I could run a better company than this probably. So they learned about some of these other jobs on the side, and they're like, hey, it sounds like a non-compete issue, so we're going to part ways. And then he was able to kind of take that experience and get into a few janitorial accounts. And so it kind of grew from there. And that's really, we grew initially out of janitorial. Mm-hmm. And then to those buildings were like, hey, can you clean my house? And so my dad, being the entrepreneur he is, was like, sure, I'll clean your house. And so we started cleaning houses. And then, they were building a building, and it's like, hey, can you do the post-construction cleanup? Right. Sure, I'll do that. And then, hey, can you clean the carpets in my building? Sure, I'll do that. And so for better or for worse, we added on these different services, but, we really grew step by step through kind of that entrepreneurial spirit of saying like, yeah, I can take care of this. And so he grew step by step like that over the years.
That's incredible. Yeah. I did janitorial and a lot of floors, a lot of the stripping and polishing of the floors, putting down the ecopane wax and all that through college. And, it's like that. When I went to work for the company Morningstar, I mean, literally I went to work for them and they gave me 10 buildings almost right away. And so I was going and cleaning these offices and these veterinary offices and these medical facilities and all at night while I was doing school. And, and little by little, they're giving me more and giving me more and giving me more. And it's just like they see that you're responsible and they just start heaping more on top of you. And so you have to scream uncle, but 50, holy smokes, can't even imagine.
Yeah. It's janitorial is interesting because that's initially where I had a lot of experience too. And it is in a lot of ways very different than soft washing because, you're more like low dollar per hour, lower margin, higher quantity, lots of people. And some people, when I talk to them, are like, how can you be profitable doing that? Well, if you do it right, we actually, are profitable and do it really well. And that's probably what we're, most efficient at because we've been doing it so long. And so it's like any business, when you learn how to do it right, it can be an awesome business. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're probably working on probably a 10% net profit at best, but there's restaurant organizations out there that are big restaurant organizations that work on a 3% net profit.
Yeah.
And you're like, really? Yeah, but they do, $250 million a year. So 3% of $250 million a year ain't nothing to sneeze at. It's a different model. And so, the interior cleaning model versus the exterior cleaning model, it's just different. Yeah. And people just don't realize that. So you've been in cleaning, you're born into the business. I mean, all of that kind of flowed naturally. Normally I'm talking to people, why did you want to be an entrepreneur and all? I mean, this is just fast track, boom.
Yeah.
And so you guys decide, okay, we're doing carpets, we're doing flooring, we're doing interior janitorial, doing post-construction cleanup, we're doing anything you can possibly do the inside of a building.
Yeah.
Now we need to do the outside of a building. And so how in the heck did you find SoftWash Systems? How did that happen?
So a few years back, we were getting into a little bit more pressure washing. And I think there were a couple, same thing. Some of our customers had situations, they had a parking garage or something like that. And, it was like, initially we're like, hey, we're not really set up for that. But then my dad, Steve, with a little bit extra time on his hands, started researching things. And when he starts researching, it's a little dangerous. Always end up getting into a new business. So we've had to say no to a lot of other businesses, even though we've said yes to some. So, we decided to make an investment. We got a hot pressure washer. So we have a trailer unit, not huge, but we have a hot pressure washer. It's works great for certain situations, but we're able to use that to do some like parking garages and things like that. And then he kept researching because a year after we got that, it was like, hey, we can use this for some situations, but in others, it doesn't work well. And that's where he ran into you on YouTube. So he started watching a lot of your YouTube videos. And, before you know it, he was showing them to me and was like, Isaac, you got to check this out. And I'm like, this looks like magic. I don't know if I really believe it. But
it's smoke and mirrors.
It looks like smoke and mirrors. So I was honestly very skeptical. I mean, I believed it probably worked, but I didn't really fully believe the transformation that you could see. Basically no pressure. So that was pretty amazing. But yeah, he started watching those videos, and before you know it, it was like we decided to go down to discover SoftWash, and yeah, the rest is history. So
you've heard AC Lockyer talk the talk, but wouldn't you like to see him walk the walk? Now is your chance, and it is absolutely free. Spend the day exploring SoftWash Systems and Disruptor Manufacturing. You'll see the business and marketing systems developed by AC at work. But no open house is complete without food, so be sure to stick around for lunch. To register for this free event, please call 855-763-8669 to reserve your spot. We look forward to seeing you at our next open house.
So, how long have you been doing the soft washing now?
So the soft washing, we're a little over 2 years in. So this season and last season were really our full seasons. The year before was really getting the truck, getting the equipment, getting set up, getting the wrap.
Doing some guinea pig houses. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think our situation is a little different than a lot of the other companies in the network, obviously, because we were bringing this into a pre-existing business. Mm-hmm. And it was just it has been a different process to kind of integrate that into our current systems and, develop a team that's focused on that, because it's a little unique where only for like a very short period of time, I was doing the work. And then for a very short period of time, I was selling it. Right. And very quickly, I was like, I need to train a salesperson, an operations person and techs to try to handle this and like get it going, Yeah,
because you've already done business. You're just dipping your toe in the pool enough in each area of the business to understand it. The scaling was not difficult for you guys because you're just adding another product. A little bit of different of a model because it's exterior cleaning and all, but SoftWash Systems had a lot of that built out for you. You didn't have to reinvent the wheel, so to speak.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think maybe I'm jumping ahead, but I think the model, I will give you credit. The model that you put together is excellent, and the training. And I mean, the training is almost as valuable as the equipment. I mean,
it's more valuable.
Probably more valuable.
The equipment is beautiful and it's nice and everything else, but the secret sauce is the training.
Yeah.
Far and away.
Yeah. I can't show you all of it in this, this short meeting, but I mean, how we were able to take a lot of the things that I learned in the training for SoftWash Systems and apply those to house cleaning, janitorial, carpet, window cleaning. I mean, all those areas, it has been transformational. So I always think, adding soft washing was great, but really it was a pivotal moment in our company history, just with a change in a lot of our marketing approach, our sales approach, and kind of getting that all to the next level. So it has really had a sweeping impact on all of the services.
Wow. So I have heard that before from people. We don't have as many people in our network or even owner investors that have come in that already had pre-existing businesses that they were able to bolt it on as closely. But like a Jim McDonough and some of the other people that were in, janitorial or flooring or even window cleaning. Window cleaning, it seems to kind of consume. It eats that up and it just becomes, the window cleaning is just part of the exterior cleaning. But when you're doing flooring and you're doing janitorial, those are two completely different. People are like, oh, it's all interior cleaning. No, interior cleaning, there's 3 different subsets of interior cleaning. And so, and do you guys do any crime scene cleanup stuff? Do you do that?
We said no to that.
Oh man, that is a whole nother world itself. But when you look at being able to bolt on SoftWash Systems and then the systems and the protocols, the procedures, the checklists, the marketing, all the things that we give you start to bleed over to the other areas of the business, the compounding factor of helping the rest of the company to grow has been remarkable for other people that have bolted it on to their pre-existing businesses.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And that's what, like one concept, like the popcorn marketing, something like that. It's like, can you apply that to house cleaning? Can you apply it to carpet cleaning? It really applies to any home service industry. So it has been really remarkable, the impact of that.
So you're basically 2.5 years in. The first half year, I'm not even going to ask you your numbers because that was kind of your get started, guinea pig, screw around with it. Your first year that you did it, how much did you end up revenuing in soft washing? Do you have those numbers?
Yeah, I'll say ahead of time that I'm not necessarily proud of these numbers, but I intend to make them better. I think last year we did around like 70, 80,000. Mm-hmm. And this year it's not great. Like I said, I'm not proud of these numbers, but I think we're still going to be around 100,000. Okay. And we've learned some things in the process. We ramped up our marketing a ton, and we've really it's been the sales that we're under capacity, I should say. And so our problem has been we have too few sales staff for the amount of services we're trying to sell. And so we've learned a lot in the process, and we're trying to make those adjustments to get into the next year.
Right.
It's not for, the lack of opportunity out there. We got to make some adjustments. So,
well, and you have to understand too, is the other negative of having a pre-existing company that you're bolting this onto and all is you don't have to make soft washing work to survive.
Yeah.
Okay. You have other revenues, other income coming in. It's not a do or die situation. But I can ask you another question, which will go back to the statement that you're making before I asked you what the revenues are. If you look at the overall growth of your business since you interacted with SoftWash Systems, if you bring in your janitorial and your floor cleaning and post-construction cleaning and soft washing and everything else, how much has your overall operation grown in the last 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing between 10 to 20. I think we're going to be around 15% this year. So, I mean, we definitely are growing. And I think, I know the topic of your conference in January was weather the storm. And I have referenced that a few times this year because I think it is a hesitant market. But, I think we're moving in the right direction. So we have been absolutely growing. And I mean, right now, I don't think I mentioned this before. We have around 100 employees, 70 to 80 of them are in janitorial, or I should say commercial. But, we're seeing good growth numbers and we're moving in the right direction. I mean, is it where I want it to be yet? No, but it's moving in the right direction.
No, absolutely. And it is growing. Hey, listen, when you look at my first year in business, I did around $83,000. My second year of business was about $85,000. And it's worked out well for me. So you're not that far off track.
Yeah. I think it's just, you got to keep making adjustments and pushing. Yeah. I think people are too quick to throw in the towel. But I mean, we've learned a lot. And like I said, I mean, we always go back to something you said of like, you had one salesman per truck. And, we're kind of in the stage right now where we're learning how to manage a sales team, because with 7 different services, essentially, unless we have people that are really focused on each, it really limits the growth. And so that's kind of the stage we're in, is trying to build and manage a successful sales team. And last year was more implementing a lot of marketing. And now it's like, okay, we're getting the marketing rolling, but we got to get the sales rolling as well. So, but yeah, it's a fun stage to be in. We got some awesome people. So,
what I've learned over the years is when I was putting together my sales teams, if there was something it's human nature for salespeople to do this. If there's something that's easier to sell or something that just automatically happens, they're going to do that. They're not going to take the new thing and dig in deep and try to develop it. They're going to run leads and take the easy low-hanging fruit that's coming to them. And when you bring in something new like soft washing and just add it to everybody's portfolio, they're not going to grab it up. You have to take one person and say, you're the soft washing guy. And gal. And then the other thing that I realized is I couldn't let residential people sell commercial work, because 100%. Then they would look at the big dollars of commercial and they go, oh, I'm going to go after that $20,000, $30,000 job. And the property manager would be like, oh, we love you. We think you're wonderful. We're going to give you this job. And 3 months later, oh, you're wonderful. We love you. We're going to give you this job. And 6 months later, oh, we love you. We think you're wonderful. We're going to give you this job. And you're like, waiting with bated breath to get this job. You're not paying attention to the everyday cash flow of residential. And then all of a sudden you call them up. They go, oh, I'm sorry. We picked somebody else. And you're like, I thought you loved me, thought I was wonderful, and you're going to give me the job. And then you've ignored the residential you should have been planting seeds and working on and developing and all, because you saw this huge, big job out there that you thought, I'm going to cash in on that thing. And so you've got to be very strategic on the territories you give your salespeople, the products you allow certain salespeople to sell, and really meter out. And that's why even when you're developing a sales team, you have to look at a salesperson. Each individual salesperson has a capacity. And so you could take a person that sells $1 million a year and put them in a $5 million a year territory, and they'll still just sell $1 million a year. And you can put a $300,000 a year salesperson in there that sells $300,000 a year, and they'll put them in that same $5 million territory, and they'll sell $300,000 a year. But you can put a $5 million a year salesperson into the $1 million a year salesperson's territory, and they will sell $5 million a year. And so it's all based also too on the personal capacity. So when you see somebody hit their personal capacity, you have to split their territory. And it's some people see it as being mean and that you're stealing from them and you're cutting their territory in half and you're cutting their opportunity. No, we know as soon as we take that territory and we cut it in half, yes, your paycheck just got cut in half, but you're going to dig back in and you're going to build back up to what your personal capacity is. The way to grow the company is to split the territories, because if you're a $500,000 a year salesperson, I might be able to keep my thumb on you and really push you to get $600,000 a year, but that's the maximum you're ever going to do. So that territory doesn't dictate that. The spot between the eyebrows, 1 inch back in the skull, I always say there's a number, written on a gland, and on that gland, written in Helvetica bold number 12 type, is the number somebody needs to get or amateurize each week at a paycheck to hit the number they think they need to make in a year to float their ship or pay their bills. And so you're learning through a lot of the stuff that we do here at SoftWash Systems, how to develop your sales teams. Because what's the overall revenues of your company, would you think, right now?
We're doing just under 4 million.
Okay. So if you got a company like that, just a 30% increase takes you to $5.5 to $6 million a year. And so, and it doesn't take a lot of tweaks here or there to do a 30% increase. Yeah. And so that's where, when you start getting bigger and numbers really start working in your favor. And then if you look at just 15% growth, a $4 million a year company at 15% growth, 20 years down the road is a $35 million a year company.
Yeah. No, you just got to keep taking steps in the right direction.
Our 4-year goal, that's what you got to do. Yeah.
Our 4-year goal right now is to get to that 10 million. So our little mantra around here is the $10 million mindset. So, when we're making decisions, it's like, is this going to get us to 10 million? Is this what a $10 million company would do? And I think it's a good mantra, because that's what we're really trying to build ourselves into.
When you mention how many siblings that you have in your company, and you talk about mom and dad and you and your siblings, your brothers and sisters, when you look at that, you have to take, and the rest of your team, and you almost have to sit everybody down and look at them and say, how much do you want to make a year? What do you think you need to make a year to achieve your lifestyle? What do you think you need to make a year to achieve your lifestyle? What do you need to make a year to achieve your lifestyle? And take all of those dollar amounts and then put it together into $1 amount, and then say, okay, if we're a service business, we're janitorial, because in janitorial, you're for sure selling labor. You're not really selling chemicals. You're not selling a product. You're selling labor. So that goes very much on the 50 cents on the dollar payroll model. You have to take all of that payroll, what I would call the dream payroll, everybody's dream paycheck, add it together, multiply it by 2, and that's the size company you need. And then you look at everybody and go, okay, guys, what are we going to do to grow this company? To support our lifestyles, to create our dream payroll, to help us to achieve our life goals and dreams. Everybody goes over to the dream board and pins on the dream board the thing that they want. To get those things that we want, what kind of company do we need to build? Mm-hmm. And I've had this discussion with my manufacturing company. I've had it with SoftWash Systems. I've had it with my other businesses that I own. And I look at them, I say, guys, I'm not building this business for me to be wealthy. I could sell everything I have right now and retire for the rest of my life. Okay. And have enough money to give my kids that they would never have to work another day of their lives. And so me starting new businesses and growing businesses and everything has actually very little to do with me. It has to do with everybody else in the room and me looking at them and saying, what is their dream paycheck? And then if you look at all the team members, they say, well, my dream paycheck is this. Say, okay, great. We need to build this size company. And they go, ooh, well, that's a big number, $10 million for you. Well, how many more janitors, housekeepers, soft washers, window cleaners, carpet cleaning technicians? How many more people do we need then even to achieve that goal? Now you got to put their payroll on top of that. And all of a sudden you realize, to get to that 10 million, we're going to need more team members. We're going to need to create more payroll. And ultimately, that's what you're doing is you're creating this micro economy that revolves around your business, creating these paychecks for all your team members so that they can have a wonderful life too. And at the end of the day, if that's not what drives you, you should probably get out of business, honestly, because all business is you extending your family out to a whole lot of other people that you're responsible for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the most rewarding part. So I like that perspective of looking at it. Because, you can impact the lives of your team and create an income for them and your family. And that's winning. That's achieving the goal. So.
Right. Yeah. And you're competitive. You've already talked about baseball. And then when the baseball dream didn't happen for whatever, I wanted to be a lead singer in a heavy metal rock and roll band. So I'm with you.
That was never one of my dreams.
It didn't work out. You moved to the next dream. I went to fishing and I became a national champion fishing. You went to Olympic style weightlifting and all. And because you're competitive, we have to be something. We got to be pushing against something, trying to achieve something all the time. And so, it's good to grow businesses and be competitive and want to go out there and win and put scores on the board and everything else. But eventually, what it really has to do with is for me to improve my life and achieve all my life's goals and dreams, I got to help a lot of other people achieve their life's goals and dreams. Because the more people I help, the more they'll push and propel me up. We have a symbiotic relationship to each other.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it fun again.
Yeah. The old rising tide raises all ships. So
yeah, for sure. So, okay. So the 10 million, normally I ask, where are we going with this now? So what are the plans then to get to 10 million? Are you going to grow your different divisions? What's your, we're on here talking about building a lifestyle business, but it is, presented by SoftWash Systems. What is your goal, or what are the steps that you're going to take to grow that soft washing side of your business?
Yeah. We want to make each area of our business a legitimate standalone business. And that includes the soft washing. So, we want to 100% get that up to $100 or $1 million plus in revenue. And I think that Madison can support that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So, that's really our initial goal. And, the rising tide raises all ships. I think by doing that in conjunction with these other services, the goal is we make each of these grow and hit those revenue goals, and that'll get us to 10 million. So, but obviously, like we talked about, we're going to have to build a successful sales team. We got to, master our marketing. We got to get our operations cleaned up a little bit. So, it's a journey, but I think in the next couple of years, we're going to make a lot of progress towards that goal.
So what does getting to 10 million mean for Isaac? What is that going to get for you? What's your dream that's attached to that?
It's a fun challenge. No, I think that's a tough question. I think for me, it's obviously great. I'm sure there'll be more opportunities to make more money. But I do think, like you talked about, at the end of the day, just seeing the team win is the most rewarding part. So, I love the team we have here. The people are awesome. I think behind me, you can see the last 2 years we won top workplaces. Mm-hmm. And I think that culture, getting to work here, building a lifestyle business, it's rewarding. So I think I want to keep growing to give the people here more opportunities. And that's really, the pressure I feel is like, I want to keep this thing moving in the right direction so that the people here can continue to grow and have more opportunities in their life. And that's going to get us to 10 million. So.
Cool. Okay. So that's bull crap. What's the car you're going to, you don't have a wife, you don't have any kids. I want to know, what car are you going to buy?
Hey, well, I have to tell you, AC, right now I drive a company car. It's a Prius.
It's a Prius. Okay. So you're
outside.
Priuses are not chick magnets. So
just give me an F-50 and I'll be happy. Okay. I'm not picky.
So did you say an F-150?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Let me be more precise.
Yes.
I want a Raptor. That's the dream.
You want a Raptor?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go Raptor, dude, you might as well go Shelby Baja Edition.
Okay, fair. You're the car guy.
That's $120,000. You know, it's a nice truck. You know, I think they might be 140 now, but
I like.
Yeah. Because you got to get them while you're young. Because if you ever get a significant other in your life and everything else, you start building houses and having kids and all that kind of stuff. You'll never get a chance to get that again until you get to be my age. And then of course I went out and got an F-100 and put a Coyote engine in it. And you know what I've done, the rabbit hole I went down. So
so I better move fast. I got to hit that growth goal fast so I can fit it in while I still can. So
that's right. Yeah. Well, cool. Great conversation. I learned some new stuff about you.
Awesome. That's the goal. So
that's awesome. Well, hey, listen, guys. I'll let you close this out. What would you say to somebody that's considering going into the soft washing business and considering hooking up with SoftWash Systems?
So I thought about this question. I think it's a great opportunity. I think if you think it's going to be a get rich quick scheme, it's not. You know, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to put the effort in. But I think if you do that, it's an awesome opportunity. And I think in theme of the podcast, you can build a lifestyle business, whether you want it to be $250,000 a year, you know, in revenue, or you want to do $1 million a year and have more team members. I think you can make that happen and build it into what you want it to be. And I think it's a rewarding job. I mean, you get to work with people, be outside, you know, don't sit behind a desk all day. So I think it is a fun, rewarding job, and it can definitely generate a great income, and you can build it into what you want. But if you think it's going to be a walk in the park, I think that's not true. I mean, I think some people get into it thinking that because they saw it on social media, and it's like, no.
Right.
So you still got to put the work in, but it's a great opportunity.
Yep, it is a great opportunity. It's worked out well for me, and it's working out great for you guys. And hey, listen, if you want to possibly get into soft washing, give us a call here at SoftWash Systems. But the most important thing is if you want to build a lifestyle business and you don't want to have to reinvent the wheel, well, really consider doing it with us, because literally it is a business in a box, and it can help also to, in Isaac's case here in his family, bolting it on helped the rest of their businesses too. But hey, listen, if you like this podcast, please go ahead and like it here below. Go ahead and click the subscribe button, and then go ahead and share it if you would, please, so that other people can hear about this, you know, stories like Isaac's here. And you guys can go ahead and make sure and get alerts whenever we release our next Building a Lifestyle Business. But Isaac, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you being on the show today. And hey, listen, guys, as always, this is AC Lockyer. Go forth and prosper.